Hey guys, one of the things that we are hoping to do with our sermon series is to provide an opportunity for you to ask questions and then for us as teaching elders to follow up on them. So this past Sunday, I had the opportunity to dig into John chapter 4, verses 46 through 54. It's the story of the official that was in Herod's army, and he went to go see Jesus because his son was sick. And there's some unique things that happened in here, and throughout the entire story we find out that sometimes our problems are not quite as important to Jesus as our faith is, our relationship. And sometimes God uses these problems to develop our relationship with Him. And so as we went through the passage of Scripture, and you can watch the entire length of the sermon on our YouTube channel, but as we went through the entire passage, there was some things that became apparent. And one of them is that Jesus cares more about my faith than fixing my problems. Even though at times my problems are heavy, difficult, and hard, and I think that they have to be fixed, Jesus really cares about my faith. Also, Jesus is always working, but not necessarily how I expected. And so my timing and His timing are different, and I have to just rest in the fact that He is in control of all things. And so as we went through the passage, a couple questions came up, and I'm going to read those to you and then do my best to answer them. The first one is, I have a problem, and is it wrong for me to want it to be fixed? Well, this is I think a very common question. I've had this one before, and when circumstances come up in our lives, or adversity, or troublesome times, typically the first thing we want to do is to see it fixed. And so the question is that wrong? And I would say, no, that's very natural of us. But it is wrong if we refuse to allow our faith to grow through it. And so if we attempt to skip steps and we don't wait on the Lord to solve the problem and we go ahead of Him, then that can certainly be a problem. So what do we do in this situation? And that is, some simple things. One is we humble ourselves and realize that it's not our job to fix the problem. And two, we spend time in prayer and seeking God, and we spend time in His Word, getting to know Him. So hopefully that's helpful. And the second question is this. I have a close friend going through a really tough time. What should I do? I think this question brings up, again, some familiar ground for us. And so if you're like me, You've been shoulder to shoulder with somebody who is going through a tough time, maybe a diagnosis, maybe a job situation or relationship problems, and we want to help them fix that problem. And that is certainly something that we can do, to come alongside them and to help in one way or the other. But if at all possible, I think we should even take a step back and know that our prayers are most important. Our companionship is also very important. And helping them and ourselves to see that God has a plan that might be bigger than fixing our problem. And so as hard as it can be to realize that that problem may be there and may be there for the rest of our lives, but we can be confident in the fact that God is growing our faith and wanting to grow our faith through that problem. So I think, just to reiterate everything from the sermon in John chapter 4, the story of the official that was from Capernaum that went to see Jesus in Cana. His son was sick unto death, and he asked Jesus to come and to heal him. Jesus listened to him. He held him off a little bit. He didn't follow the plan of this man. In fact, he healed him from a distance instead of going back to Capernaum. And through it all, I think we learn that Jesus wants relationship with us. He wants our faith even more than He wants to fix our problems. And oftentimes He will fix our problems, but it's mostly about the faith. Well, if you have any questions this next Sunday as you hear the sermon, maybe on YouTube, or also just listen to it while sitting here, you can write it down and give it to the Connect table. You can send an email to info@newlifekc.org, or you can simply just put it in the comments section of the YouTube video. We want to make sure that this is an opportunity for each of us to grow in our faith. So thanks for being along on this journey, and until next time, have a great day.